Hi everyone, my name is Gurleen and I'm an academic facilitator here in Trio. We're going to wait for a few minutes for everyone to come in and we're going to start by like 10:04, 10:05. Thanks for your patience. Guys, I would like you to tell one more thing that there is no need to fill out any kind of survey. The attendance is being taken and it will count toward your learning activity. So you're all be fine. So you'll be good. If you have any kind of questions, you can put them in the chat or you can wait until the end for the question section to ask your specific questions. Thank you. Just one more minute, guys, and we'll be starting soon. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome in to the very first workshop of this semester. We Trio welcome you all. And at the beginning, I would like you to tell that there is no need to fill out any kind of survey. Your attendance is being taken care of, and that will count towards your learning activity. My name is Gurleen, and I'm an academic facilitator, math and science tutor here. And me and my coworker Brenda, she will be in front of you with the camera. We'll be presenting on time management workshop today. So, time management is the key to productivity and efficiency. And let's begin. Okay, so I would like to start with a question, and the question is, how many of you have ever felt like 24 hours in a day are just not enough? Feel free to write in the chat area or raise your hands to answer the any kind of uh, you valuable. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Alvarado and Cervantes have something to say. Um, Alyssa, can you unmute them? They want to say something. You guys can unmute
You
yourself.
can you
Go
can
ahead.
unmute yourselves and post in the chat as well, please, if you have a question.
Go ahead. The guys, you have raised your hands one by one. Alvarado, go. You can go ahead first. What do you want to say about this? Guys, am I audible? Valdez, do you want to go ahead and say something? You raised your hand. I can see that. Okay. Well, if you would like to say something, please put your answers in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, stop me, and excuse me, and then we can listen to you. I would like to tell you thing, guys, like the most valuable thing a man can ever spend is time. This is something we all know, and but we forget this most of the times. Do you know that average person spends nearly 2.5 hours a day procrastinating? That almost 17 hours a week, and we even don't realize it. This is something we really need to think about. Is it not enough to be busy? So are the ants. The question is, what are we busy about? So, I would like a question to be asked again. When was the last time you felt incredibly busy but not necessarily productive? Any one of you? Okay. So, think about your past week. How much of your busyness was truly meaningful? Personally, I used to think that being busy was a sign of success, but I realized, like many of us, I was just being busy without real progress. And I believe so. This would have happened with many of you as well. And just sitting and thinking about it make us realize that we waste time rather than being productive and efficient. We just think that we are busy, but we are not. And yes, Alvarado says, I agree with you guys. But yeah, most of us can relate to that. And now my coworker Brenda, she's going to proceed with this workshop. And in any point you feel like you need to ask something again, you need to say something, you can input your information or something like that, whatever you want in the chat box.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry, Sorry, can you guys hear me okay now? Thank you so much, Gerline, for that introduction. And like Gerline mentioned, my name is Brenda Monivon. I am a reading and writing academic facilitator here at Trio Student Support Services, and I work for both the general and the veteran side. Now, let's get into the presentation. To manage time is to using the time available to you effectively in order to get your tasks done. So like Gerline mentioned, how do we spend our time being busy and what is busy to us? So like I know that some days for me, my days could go within the blink of an eye if I'm not being productive, and that's because I'm not utilizing my time effectively. And we'll go more into strategies to help you facilitate your time, prioritize it. And then understanding how we spend our time, how we really spend our time, really questioning and pondering that, just like Gerline mentioned with the ants. And then how do we use tools and processes for efficiency and productivity? Okay. Now the importance of time management. These are the foundations. Efficiency, optimizing time used for maximum results. Balance, attaining a balance between work and personal life. Productivity, achieving more with better quality. And stress, reducing stress through effective planning. Now, the psychology of time perception. Really understanding time perception will give us a feel of how we just how our days go by, how we manage time, how we could be present. So, subjective time experience. Time feels faster or slower based on activities and emotions. I know some days when I'm really tired because maybe I didn't eat enough or maybe I just didn't get good quality sleep, my days go by a lot slower and I feel like I'm slugging through the day. So I think we can all experience that. And then we also have our cognitive biases. So the planning fallacy, underestimating time needed for tasks, and procrastination, delaying tasks despite knowing the consequences. And as students, I think we have all fallen victim to these cognitive biases. Now, knowing the time traps, there are two types of time traps. One is distractions. So, for example, these can be technology, your personal smartphone, your Apple Watches, your tablets. So, I, so like for example, social media notifications. When we're on social media, we could scroll for endless amount of times. I know I end up spending hours without even knowing it. And then just having unplanned interruptions. So I personally have three roommates. We're all girls. We're all best friends. So we're always chatting. We're always talking. But when it comes time to like having to do work, I always have to like put a signage on my door saying do not disturb or study time, just to communicate to them that this is my this is my personal time that I need to not have any interruptions. So I know that there are countless of interruptions within our daily lives that are just unforeseeable too. And then, so yes, the impacts: loss of focus, reduced efficiency, and wasted time. And then overcommitments, saying yes too often, taking on more work than manageable, overscheduling yourself. And this could be because this saying yes can be from feeling guilty about something or having a fear of missing out. I know that before I used to always take on more work shifts than I needed to, and that was just because I felt guilty for not picking up those work shifts or not covering my coworkers. And that definitely left me to feel more burnt out faster than I needed to. And so, like stated in the slides, the impacts are stress, burnout, and neglect of personal priorities. Now, this is the this is the core: managing distractions. How do we do this? Definitely a difficult task, more easy said than done, but creating a dedicated workspace, really having just a small corner or like a desk designated for doing homework, getting work done, is very helpful in having and leading you to be productive. And creating a schedule to manage your responsibilities and allot time for work. It doesn't even have to be allotting time for work, but also scheduling maybe personal needs like working out or your doctor appointments, or just like even time to eat, because we could go hours without like really realizing that, oh, like you forgot to eat or you forgot to take a break. So having a schedule to really manage your time and your day-to-day task is very important. And then practice saying no. Avoid taking on more commitment if you feel overwhelmed. Just like I previously mentioned, I used to take on more than I can handle, and that led me to burn out a lot faster. And then control your smartphone. Set your smartphone to silence or do not disturb mode to avoid becoming distracted by notifications. And something I really like about Do Not Disturb is that if you are really concerned about missing an important call or missing like an emergency, then Do Not Disturb. If someone calls you more than once, then it'll notify you. So that's how you could kind of gauge if something's really important or is an emergency to attend to. And also, if you're afraid of missing out on your emails during that time or just text messages from families, you can have batch notifications, which is checking your emails and messages only at designated times. This can be useful by implementing a timer to set those times to check your emails. And then delegate or outsource. Share responsibilities when possible to avoid taking on everything yourself. I think this is really good when it comes to group projects or maybe even projects at work. I know that when I take on projects at work, it's really my coworkers, like working with them, that really helps me get the most out of my time and effectively finish at the deadline. And then use prioritization tools, techniques like Eisenhower matrix, urgent versus important, to focus on meaningful tasks. And we'll also dive more into different resources and tools you can use to prioritize your time. Now, identifying priorities. Set goals. Clearly define what you want to achieve. Step 2, categorize tasks. Separate tasks based on urgency and importance. And 3, involve others. Consider the inputs of others who may be affected by your priorities. So this could be personal relationship, family members, children, classmates, anybody involved in your life. I feel like now, like, I know that I have to definitely work around, like, if I'm working on a group project, I for sure always make sure that I'm working around my other classmates' schedules and that their schedules and that they're being flexible with me and they're working around my schedule as well. Like, we're both taking into consideration each other's schedules because it can definitely have an impact on other people's lives. So I think that's step 3 is very important to highlight because we have family members, we have personal relationships at home, and making sure that they know our time and we know their time is definitely important. Just getting that communication across. Now, here are some ways you could prioritize your time. I know I've been talking a lot about prioritizing your time, but not really telling you how to do it. So creating a daily task or to-do list is definitely helpful in visualizing your day-to-day schedules, like what you need to get done, your meetings, your check-ins, etc. And then having your weekly tasks for deadlines, presentations, and projects, and then your month task, which will show your long-term goals, your long-term projects. And one way I love to do this is having a calendar on hand because once you put your day-to-day tasks, you basically have your weekly task, right? And then once you have your weekly tasks, you can really visualize your entire month. So just taking the time, the second to really sit down, write everything down, throw up all your stress onto your calendar of what you have to do will definitely help you manage in the future. And then how do we determine which tasks are truly important? Well, we could use the ABCDE method, which is just a way to prioritize. So A will be the top priority, B the high priority, C the medium priority, D low priority, and of course E no priority. And I love doing this once I have like a created to-do list because I can easily go in and be like, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, and then I know what I need to get done first and what I can save for later and can easily get done at the end of the day. It's definitely a great way to like gauge time too, how long a task will take and how, Now, lastly, we went over a couple planning techniques, so I just want to conclude what we already went over so far. So creating that to-do list, create a list of tasks to be completed, the calendar, schedule time for tasks, events, personal needs, and then time blocking, allotting time for work, maybe having a designated area that you could work at and allot the time for. And then getting things done, a method for managing tasks and projects. I know, like I said earlier, it's easier said than done. The hard part is actually putting it into effect and doing it, but getting things done and managing tasks and projects for a better productive schedule. All right, and then now I'm going to hand it back over to my colleague, Gerline.
Hi everyone, back again. And then we will be discussing, thank you Brenda for explaining so much valuable things and information to us. We'll be talking about additional tips to get most out of studying. Study for at least 45 to 60 minutes at a time. Then take 10 to 15-minute break in between. Switch subjects after each hour. Start with the most difficult subject so that you can get it done in the very beginning. Work ahead. Don't wait until the last minute. And always, always reward yourself. This is very important and necessary for your brain to know and help yourself that you're doing something, And there is something important I would like to talk about is like what to do during the breaks. I have seen and I have done myself as well that usually during the breaks, we are on the phone, we are on the screen. That affects our eyes, and somewhere when we are looking at videos, usually these days we are looking at Instagram reels, YouTube reels, like those short reels. It impact us, like our screen time, it decreases. We get a lot of information that's even not necessary and we shouldn't focus on into our minds, and we just constantly think about it, even though after that 10-15 minute break we try to focus, and we won't be able to focus because our brain would be wandering in that information which we have seen on the phone, on our screens in the past. So instead of being on the phone, we can go for a short walk. Movement always helps to reset your mind. We can stretch or do light exercise that helps with the blood circulation. We can drink water or have a snack. It helps to keep our energy up. We can do breathing exercises that helps to reduce stress and resets focus. We can talk to a friend or a family member, like a social interaction, that helps to refresh your brain. If I would tell personally what happens, like I'm here in my working environment, I have so many colleagues and friends here, and whenever something's going on, I talk to them, and then they tell me, Gurleen, you're wrong here, you're right here, you should do this will help you. They really come together and help me, and that really helps me. In return, I can focus on things a lot better. So rather than wasting those 10-15 minutes that I'm going to take as a break in between study intervals, I can talk to them, and that way it can increase my social interaction. I will have people with me by my side which who will help me. So it's always important to do these things rather than being on the phone or on the screens. And in the recent slide, we talked about like 45 to 50 minutes studying and then 10 to 15 minutes break. What exactly is it? It is a Pomodoro technique. And the question is, what is Pomodoro technique? It's a time management strategy that helps maintain focus and productivity, which involves studying for 25 minutes. Pick up a task and work with full concentration. I would say 25 minutes is for the beginners, but since we are at like in higher level of education, just studying for 25 minutes won't help us to achieve our goals. Like a concept, rather than like I'm being a science major, it takes me like 45 to 50 minutes just for one concept. And if I would be like, I'm going to sit just for 25 minutes and I'm going to go through this concept, it will be it won't be that effective, and it will make me put in problem rather than helping me. So just see how long you can sit and you can clear that thing or that one concept you're focusing on, and then study accordingly that, put your interval accordingly that, and then take a 5 minute break. Step away, avoid screens during those 5 minutes. Repeat this cycle 4 times. After 4 Pomodoros, take a long 15 to 30 minute break so that your mind can get reset, you can get fresh. The question is, why is the Pomodoro technique effective? The very first thing, it prevents burnout. The brain works better in short bursts rather than long hours. It boosts our motivation. Completing Pomodoro session feels like small achievements. Reduces procrastination. It helps you get started without feeling overwhelmed. Improves concentration. Helps train your brain to focus deeply. So these are the reasons why this technique is effective and is being used by many people. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I try to sit and start studying, before that I look for study motivation videos, because it's not easy, and for every one of us that we are motivated every time to study, because sometimes we feel like we are stressed, we are anxious. What I do on my side is, before starting anything, I look for a video over YouTube, a study motivation video. That really helps me to get started, but not during in between the breaks. And while I was talking about those videos, I think many of you would have came across such videos, the Pomodoro technique over the um YouTube as well, or else there are some videos like 10 hours long, 11 hours long, 12 hours long, where they are using this Pomodoro technique. You can keep that video on your tablet while you're studying on your laptop, so that you can, take breaks during the time they are taking the break, like the other person sitting next to you is taking break, and study while they are studying. So you can find a mate who is sitting just right next to you but on screen and is studying. That will also help you to get motivated and work. Other than that, there are environmental factors which influence time management. Look at the beautiful picture. Look at this beautiful scene. How cozy and comfortable it is. If I would be here at the moment in this picture, I would be studying in a focused manner and with full concentration. So our work environment, the environment we are studying in is, it really matters. It does. Like, look at this is like everything is sorted out in its on its place. Nothing is cluttered. So optimizing your environment is important for better time management. Workspace design, always organize physical space to enhance focus. And ergonomics and ambient conditions, there is importance of comfort and minimal distraction. So there are some of the things that I would be talking about, like your workspace should help you stay focused and minimize distractions. Say, declutter your desk. That will help. Only keep the essentials like laptop, notebook, pens. Clutter-free space helps lead you to a clutter-free mind. Use organizers and storage. File papers properly. Use desk trays or digital note-taking apps to avoid losing track of tasks. Personalize your space. A plant, motivational quote, or a small decoration can make the workspace inviting but not distracting. Lighting matters. So natural light is best, but if unavailable, you can use soft white lighting to reduce strain. Studies have shown that a clutter-free workspace increases productivity by 40% because the brain processes fewer distractions. Coming to the ergonomics and ambient condition, it is also one of the key to focus and concentrate. So say invest in a comfortable chair, a desk setup, which helps to maintain your proper posture to prevent back and neck pain. Screen positioning. The monitor should be at the eye level to avoid strain. Use a comfortable chair. Your chair should support your lower back to avoid discomfort. And then temperature and air quality. A well-ventilated room with a moderate temperature, say 72°F or 22°C, it helps to improve focus. When it comes to a well-ventilated room, it means a room full of natural air, a room full of oxygen. Because if the level of oxygen in your blood is high, your brain is going to concentrate and focus with much more efficient manner than being in a place where there is a lot of carbon dioxide, a lot of you're sitting in an area which is closed where the carbon dioxide is getting accumulated, because carbon dioxide have bad effect on your brain and makes you feel sleepy. So look for a better place, a better environment to study in. Next, we will be talking about mindfulness and time management. So integrating mindfulness into time management. When we say mindfulness, what do you mean by mindfulness? Anyone? Okay. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness is, I feel like it's really concentrating and focusing on what it is that you want your tasks to be. That way you don't cloud it with other things. You're mindful about what you're doing in an organized way, I think. Is that what it is?
You're right. Right. Like you are aware of your surroundings, you know what's going on, you're conscious. Personally, what happened, I wasn't mindful, I wasn't conscious of my surroundings and environment. And it's not just like when you are studying, it's like every time you should be aware, where are you residing. um so I met with an accident because I wasn't aware where I was lost. I was lost in my own thoughts and I wasn't aware. So it's not just one thing that we can consider. You're right, Devi, and thanks for answering the question. But there are several things that get included into this little word that's mindfulness. And it's not just only meditation also. It's about being fully present and intentional in how you use your time, how you're being present in the time. So by incorporating mindfulness into time management, we can enhance focus, we can reduce stress, and we can boost productivity. Again, we can use Pomodoro technique with mindfulness breaks, and it helps to, concentrate and focus. Combining work intervals with short mindfulness practices really helps. Really, we all should try it once. So Like we can do deep breathing. There is a 2-minute rule. Like before starting a task, take 2 minutes for deep breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4, and exhale for 6. This calms your mind and improve focus. This is something which I have tried and it really worked, guys. This is not something we are just doing for the sake of a learning activity or just for the sake of doing a workshop. These are some of the things we should all incorporate in our lives because these are important and effective. This will really help. And then single tasking versus multitasking. Mindful productivity encourages full focus on one task at a time instead of juggling multiple things at once. Then an intentional start. Before beginning work, take a moment to set a clear intention. Say, like for me, I always look for a motivational video so that I can get motivated. And when you get motivated, there are certain hormones released in your bloodstream and their effect lasts for at least 4 to 5 hours. That helps you to concentrate and you can learn a difficult subject very easily. Motivate yourself. Be disciplined in motivating yourself. Motivation isn't something that comes regularly. You have to do it intentionally, because level of motivation decreases, but you can be disciplined throughout. This is something not the level doesn't decrease or increase. It's like your own effort, but you can enhance your motivation, which will help you. Say, for in case of intentional start, for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to focus on this thing. I'm going to write this report and I'm going to do it. If you give your brain that particular time frame, that this is the time I have and I have to complete my job within the given time frame, your brain do that in a short period of time. You can do a large amount of work. It depends upon you, how you treat your mind, how you gonna order it, like, let's do this. So it helps the brain to commit to the task and resist distractions. So another we have body scan technique. If feeling overwhelmed, do a quick mental scan to check for tension in the body and relax those areas. Like, calm yourself down, close your eyes, and look where your body is tensed. What are you tensed about? Is that thing in your hands? Can you resolve it? Can you control it? If not, leave it. If you can, just write down the points. How can I do it? How can I work on it? And then work on it. Just thinking about the problem is not the solution. You have to work on it. And if it's not in your control, then leave it. Don't dig in the past. Don't look something which haven't have arrived yet. Don't be in the future. Just be in the present. I know saying is easy than doing, but if we add little good habits into our incorporate habits good habits into our day-to-day active lives one by one, that will really help. And then mindful transitions, like take 30 seconds between tasks to reset rather than jumping from one to the next in a rush. This is something we have already talked about. And yeah, now we'll be talking about Pomodoro technique in mindfulness. Again, I have already explained a little bit concept of Pomodoro technique in the previous slides, and my coworker Brenda, she also went over it. And then again, here I will go over it once again. Like, it's a technique that can be enhanced by adding short mindful practices between work sessions. Work for 25 to 45 minutes. Stay fully focused on the task and then take 5-minute mindfulness break. Instead of grabbing a phone, try taking a break, like breathing exercise, 5 deep breaths to reset focus. Step off outside, observe your surroundings for a moment. Savor a drink, snack, drink water or tea slowly, focusing on the task. Gratitude pause. Think of one thing you are grateful for. This is something I really want you guys to focus on. We are really, really grateful. We are residing here in the United States and we got the chance to study. We should be grateful for that. There are many children all over the world. Say, for an example, we all know what's happening in Gaza. We all know what's happening in Ukraine. They are devoid of even basic amenities. They don't have shelter. They don't have food. They don't have clothes. We are grateful at least we have those things. And then there are several other resources that are helping us to you know excel academically. Why not to do something that's worthwhile, that's worth it, and creating something that's unique, that will give you a name and do something. I would say, really, we should all do something. We all should be grateful for whatever we have with us, and always think about it and be grateful. That really helps you, to get back to your work, and it boosts your motivation, and it helps you to get into good mood, to know, like, let's do it. Let's come back. and study, because no, we all know knowledge is the strongest and the biggest weapon ever you can have in your life, because this is something no one can snatch it from you. Your knowledge is just for you, within you, and you can use it as the biggest weapon. Then, as we were discussing, like after 4 Pomodoro, take a 15 to 30-minute break. In that break, we can listen to calm music, we can do stretch, or we can do a short meditation. Coming to time management and mental health. Okay, so enhancing mental health through time management. We all know these days that mental health is something we all are losing on because of the stress, because of the anxiety. Say, for example, we are always in rush. We have this deadline to complete until like 11:59, and we are just procrastinating, and or else we are just like digging deep into it. It's taking like 2 to 4 hours rather than like just 1 hour. It gives you stress, which affects your mental health, which affects your day, your life in overall, I would say. There are several ways you can reduce stress, and there are effective planning that reduces an anxiety. And then other thing is work-life balance. You should allocate time for personal activities and relaxation. Stress often comes from feeling overwhelmed and rushed. Proper time management helps by like creating a clear plan, knowing what to do and when to prevent last minute panic, breaking tasks into small steps. Large tasks can feel stressful. Breaking them down into smaller, manageable steps makes them feel achievable. Avoid procrastination. Delaying tasks increases stress levels. Using techniques like Pomodoro, 2-minute rule, it will help. Setting realistic deadlines. Overloading your schedule can cause an anxiety. Prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance. Using a to-do list or planner, as Brenda told, writing things down removes mental clutter and helps keep track of your responsibilities. Many people struggle with balancing work, studies, and personal life, which leads to burnout. But there is a way, there is a occasion, there is a reason we have to maintain a healthy balance. We can always set boundaries between work and personal time. We can avoid bringing work home or answering emails outside work hours. If you study or work from home, create a dedicated workspace and a set schedule. Schedule time for relaxation and fun as well. Personal time is not a luxury, it's necessary. Plan enjoyable activities just like work tasks. Like, say, for example, for 30-minute evening walk, I'm going to do dinner with my family at 7 p.m. Use 80-20 rule, that is Pareto principle. 20% of tasks we do bring 80% of the results. So focus on high impact task first. Avoid wasting time on low priority distractions that add stress. Always prioritize sleep and self care. Poor sleep affects focus, mood, and decision making. Set a consistent sleep schedule and wind down 30 minutes before bed. No screen, just relaxing activities. Example, instead of working non-stop and burning out, try work 40 to 50 minutes, take a 10-minute self-care break. In that break, again, we can stretch, meditate, drink water, and then we can set me time daily where you can spend 30 minutes on your hobbies. You can listen to music or anything that brings you joy. I think I already went over this, and we would be coming to the impact of sleep and nutrition on time management. So, health factors also influence time management. We all need adequate sleep. Why? Because it helps to enhance cognitive function and energy levels. We all need proper nutrition. It helps and supports sustained productivity and focus. We need to build a routine. It incorporate healthy habits into daily schedules. I don't know if you guys all know or no, but um, in the drinks like the soda, Pepsi, or the drinks that are available anywhere, I would say, they contain carbon dioxide, and that makes you feel sleepy. I don't know if you have ever felt that, but it's a scientific thing that I wanted you to all know. If you are trying to focus, if you're trying to concentrate, if you're trying to do something productive, don't have those beverages or drinks. They're gonna affect you and your brain and will reduce your focus and concentration. If you would get some time after this presentation, please look into this on the Google. You will get to know what exactly it is and why does it affect our brain and why we shouldn't drink it. Then impact of sleep and nutrition, again on time management. Why sleep matters for time management? Very first reason, it boosts your memory and learning. A well-rested brain processes and retains information better, improves energy and focus. Sleep prevents fatigue and helps sustain attention during tasks. Prevents procrastination. Sleep deprivation leads to low motivation and impulsive decision making. There are some sleep tips for better productivity. Follow a consistent sleep schedule. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep daily. Avoid screens before bed. Use the 90-minute rule. Wake up at the end of the sleep cycle. We don't realize this, but there is a sleep cycle. Make your alarm for that time. Like if you're going to bed at 12, right, you have to wake up exactly after 6, either 7.5 or 9 hours. This is a sleep cycle, a different sleep cycles our brain run for, and that time is needed for your brain to rest. Don't say if you wake up after 5.5 hours, then 6, or say 6.5 hours, then rather than 6, it's gonna affect your brain. Your brain gonna feel dizzy. Maybe you would have felt in the morning, you feel like I'm not okay, I have a little headache, light headache, or I'm foggy. But the reason is because our sleep cycle isn't completed. Either it goes above the range or below it, like below the range or above the range. You should know that there is a sleep cycle which help us to feel refreshed if we incorporate into our lives. Say, for example, if you sleep at 11 p.m., wake up at 6:30 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. to avoid mid-cycle grogginess. And then there are some foods that help to boost time management and focus. Eat healthy foods and healthy fats such as avocados, nuts, olive oil, antioxidants like blueberries, dark chocolate, leafy greens, spinach, kale, protein and omega-3, salmon, walnuts, eggs. Stay hydrated. Dehydration is not good. It leads to low energy and focus. So drink at least 2 liters of water daily, every day. And coming to the last part, which I feel is very, very important, and I think you all should know about this, biological prime time alignment. Our body responds to different times during the day and is efficient and productive and is at its peak level during certain hours. In this picture, if you guys can look, there is a graph between alertness level and the time periods. See, we can clearly see during those 6 to 9 a.m. in the morning, our alertness level is at the peak. And then again from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., our alertness level is at the peak. These are the times if we put work do work in during these hours, we can go ahead than the other ones. Like if you think like there is a race going on and you have less time and more work to do, trying to do the work, the main important work during those times, and you will see the results because this is something her body is aligned with. Not all hours in the day are equal when it comes to productivity. So our biological prime time is the period when we have the most energy, focus, and mental clarity, which varies from person to person as well. So we need to understand this so that it can help us to optimize our time management for maximum efficiency. There are certain circadian rhythms. I'm gonna go over this a really little quick because we're running out of time. There are circadian rhythms. We need to understand peak energy times. Our circadian rhythm is the body's internal clock that regulates sleep, alertness, and energy levels over a 24-hour cycle. There are morning people who feel energized between 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. There are night owls who feel energized between 5 to 11, midday performers from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you should know when I work better, when I work at my best level, and you should work in that time, do the difficult thing at that time according to your body cycle, and you will achieve good results for sure. So from this slide, I would say a major key takeaway is recognize when you feel most alert and schedule your most important tasks during that time, and it will help you to improve productivity. And now I would like my coworker Brenda to go forward with the other slides. And we are just very near to be done with the information.
All right, thank you so much, Girlene. I think I'm personally a midday performer. I like to get my work done throughout the day. And yeah, we have a couple more minutes of our workshop left, and this is, I think, the a really fun part because I'm going to be going over some advanced technological tools that we can use to really help us efficiently use our time. So some AI-powered scheduling tools like Clockwise or optimizing your calendar is a really good way. Even integrating your smart devices like our like our watches or our smartphones, having timers set on them, reminders are really useful. And so now, what are some other apps that we can use? Well, we have Canvas, Google Calendar, and Notion. As students, we all use Canvas, so why not just take advantage of some of like the resources they have in Canvas. So like you have your Canvas calendars that helps you visualize deadlines. Also, Canvas provides a to-do list for upcoming events or assignments that are due within a week. And then Google Calendar is a really nice way to also customize your schedule, and it can assist you in planning your time by the weeks or months. And by customizing your schedules, you can add your personal appointments, your personal check-ins, stuff that you can't really add to your um Canvas calendar. There you go. And then Notion is also a really good tool. I think I mentioned it before, but I just found out about it like maybe a year ago, and I love it. Because it's a productivity and note-taking website that features creating to-do lists, calendars, study habits, and trackers. The website also allows you to be very creative with your Notion board. Something that I really love about Notion is that it's basically like a personal journal that you can take with you anywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and share, oops. Oh, okay. I lost you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so I can show you guys like my Notion board, my Google Calendar, ways that I utilize it, so you guys could kind of have that visualizer and understand what I'm talking about. Because it is quite a lot. Okay. All right, can you guys see this? So this is Notion. I think as like Fresno State students, we all get like literally a free Notion like why am I blanking? Account, a free Notion account. So that's like one of the benefits because I think I signed up through like my Fresno State email and everything, and I got it. And so like this is my Notion board. It kind of reminds me of a journal because I have my to-do list on the side. I could write a daily quote. And then I can also create an assignment tracker. This was from last year. So that's why it says completed and the date is like 2024. But yeah, it's really great in visualizing like what you need to do. Like it allows me to see the deadline. And also something I love about having an assignment tracker is that I could see how many assignments I have for the semester, and I love crossing it off as I go. Like it's very satisfying to me. It makes me feel accomplished and it motivates me. And then also you can create like a tab for your courses, kind of like a Canvas. And you could add your syllabus, your to-do list for each one. And I put like the times and date for when each class was, so I don't forget to go to class. So yeah, so like I added the syllabus, the schedule. This was last year's too. So I haven't really used Notion because for work, I get a lot of Google Calendar invites, so I kind of switched over to fully using Google Calendar, and I'll kind of show you my Google Calendar. So this is how I really schedule my day-to-day activities. I like schedule in my workout time because if I don't, I know I'm not going to go to the gym. I know I'm not going to work out. I really love working out too. So helps me block out that time. Then it has my work schedule, my class schedule, my little meetings throughout the day. It's a very good visualizer and it's very useful since like I'm already getting Google Calendar invites for work. So it's all in one place for me. So that's kind of why I switched over from Notion to Google Calendar. But that's like the great thing about having all these apps is that you could really kind of get a feel for what works best for for you. And then I'm going to also show you my Canvas dashboard because I feel like we get set up with Canvas, but we don't really know how to utilize it because that was me. I didn't really know how to utilize it last year, but now like look, I have this task list, this tracker on the side, and then I have a Snoopy imprint on all of like my classes. And that's because I added some extra extensions. So like Canvas doesn't come with this already, so you might have to download the extensions to get these extra features. And I could go like a lot more in depth with these, but that's like a whole nother workshop. I just want to give you guys the rundown. Um, and so I'm going to go ahead and also show you my Canvas calendar and how, sorry, I just want to make sure you guys could see it. Okay, so this calendar is really useful in seeing the deadlines, seeing like I could click on my assignment and it tells me what I need to do, tells me when it's due. And if your professor doesn't post your assignments ahead of time, something I like to do is that I like to go into the syllabus, see when my assignments are due, and just add it myself. So if I click on today's date, I could click on my to-do and create a to-do list. So let's put in time management workshop, submit, and then that is only for me to see, and I know that that day I have a time management workshop. And if I go back to the home page, it pops up on this, oh wait, it pops up on the side right here. And I could check it off to know that I'm done, and yeah. And so you probably won't get like the confettis on the side because it is because of the extension that I have that. But if you want to know the extensions I use Better Canvas. These are for like the themes that I like choose, like the Snoopy themes. And then I use, this one's not popping up. I use tasks for Canvas. And that's how I get this little tracker on the side. Um, and and then one last thing. This is the last thing, I promise. If you guys don't want to use Notion because it does seem like daunting and a lot, then you guys could start off with Google Sheets and create an assignment tracker. And if you're the type of person like me who loves to have a list and to cross things off a list, this is really helpful. I could say done, not started, in progress. I could also share this. I looked this up. I just Googled assignment tracker Google Sheets and it gives you a template. All right, okay. That is my
Being very quick, guys. I know it's almost 10:53. Within 1 or 2 minutes, you can leave. Just quick questions. I think the question for Joanna Reuse, what are the extensions for Canvas, has been already addressed by Brenda. And there was a question, what videos do motivation videos do I use? I literally search Korean study motivation videos, and there are many videos, and they really help, being honest, because I feel like they are the most brilliant and beautiful videos over the YouTube that help. And I was able to see one more question. Yeah. Oh, Fiona Romans. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. She said you can integrate your Canvas to do into Google Calendar as well. I didn't knew about that, and I think Brenda is very much efficient and proficient in using Notion and Google Calendar. I'm gonna learn from her, and definitely I would also love to do it. But yeah, this was all our presentation about, and I would like you guys to think what were the 3 takeaways you got from this presentation. If anyone of you would like to say right now, you're most welcome. But I would like you to think and reflect on it. That what we learned and how we can incorporate these into our lives. And I would also want you to ask you, what are some of the suggestions you feel like you can apply to your lives? If any one of you is willing to come forward and say. If you have any questions, you can ask, or else you're most welcome. Feel free to leave. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Thank you for sharing all the important information. Yeah, you're most welcome, Rose. You're welcome, Joanna. You're welcome, Joshua. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Bye, everyone. You can leave if you want. I'm gonna stay if in case anyone have a question. Thank you, Eric. You're welcome, guys. Thank you. But I would listen to music or just take a nap if I'm stressed. Yes. You're right. Listen to motivational videos and the real life scenarios of the people who have been through such situations we are going through right now. And you can see it's not just us being alone. There were many people in the past who went through this and got to the level we can't even imagine. So, hard times are there, but we can sustain and we can pass through them and we can do something worth. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the presentation and I'll be leaving. Have a good one. Have a good day. Bye bye.